Anek is that film which really talks about inclusivity, though it's based in Northeast, but it could be relatable to every place, any place where there is insurgency or there's political social turmoil. So I guess it's very relevant like that. So मैं college में था तो काफ़ी Northeast के students थे who were facing a lot of racial slurs back in the day and still very prominent, which is very unfortunate. And Anubhav Sinha also knows a lot of people from Northeast. जिन्होंने ये common grouse रहा है उनका.
Hello everyone, welcome to ETimes. I'm Rachit Gupta and today we are meeting Ayushmann Khurrana. We're going to speak about a very important film, a film that Ayushmann is particularly passionate about. So let's get into that conversation. Hi Ayushmann, how are you?
Hi Rachit, very good.
Why is Anek an important film? And what was it about this story and concept that convinced you that this story needs to be told?
I think personal experiences. जब मैं college में था तो काफ़ी Northeast के students थे who were facing a lot of racial slurs back in the day and still very prominent, which is very unfortunate. And Anubhav Sinha also knows a lot of people from Northeast जिन्होंने ये common grouse रहा है उनका. So I guess it was just empathy towards them, and we thought it was it could be made into a film because it was totally uncharted as a territory as far as Hindi cinema is concerned. So we love choosing novel subjects, and this was I think it was need of the hour.
You know, the first time I heard about the title, especially Anek, so ab ye call me stupid, but the first thing that came to my mind was that old Doordarshan song, if you remember, Ek chidiya, Anek chidiya, dana chugne baiti.
Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing this into the conversation is, I think it was released in the late 70s, almost 45 years ago. It spoke of the same message.
Yeah.
That, you know, there should be equality. It was trying to teach kids that no matter what language you speak, no matter where you're from, what your geography is, you are still part of a unified country.
Yes.
That's the same theme that's sort of coming across in the dialogues of your film. So what sort of experiences, do you remember this song?
Of course I do.
And the themes of your film, especially that dialogue when you tell J.D. Chakravarti that, you know, North India, South India, वो language से ही Indian होता है कि why can't you all be Indians? So how do you sort of marry these thoughts? What are your thoughts about this?
I think it has to reiterate every single time, every generation. We need to reiterate probably every year. A film has to come out which talks about unifying the nation and shows different perspectives at the same time. And of course, this is the biggest strength and biggest weakness, that we are very diverse. And it's a cliche and a hackneyed statement, unity in diversity, but it has to be hammered again and again so that every generation needs to get fed with this. And Anek is that film which really talks about inclusivity, though it's based in Northeast, but it could be relatable to every place, any place where there is insurgency or there's political social turmoil. So I guess it's very relevant like that.
And a couple of interviews that you've already done, I was sort of going through them, and you did say that you guys worked with locals over there, but it was a slight challenge as to, you know, probably they didn't know, they were not exposed to acting in front of the camera as much as probably people in Bombay are. So were you sort of trying to mentor them? Were you trying to handhold them, or was it only Anubhav who was doing it? How did that come about?
I think it was Anubhav sir. He's very, very experienced with new actors, old actors, every kind of actor. And the first time the junior artists were from that place where they'd never faced the camera before. And sometimes you just look in the camera and it was a new experience for us. It was very fresh at the same time, very refreshing, because some of the actors were first timers, yet they were so good. And at the same time, there were a lot of experienced actors from Northeast who've been to NSD but still didn't get a chance in the mainstream Hindi cinema. So there was a lot of hunger also in them. You know, they've been waiting for this moment probably, and they'd probably given up कि शायद हिंदी फिल्मों में नहीं मौका मिलेगा क्योंकि हम एक तरीके से दिखते हैं. So I think that was again a great revelation. कितने कमाल के actors, though it was not even their first language, they were acting in Hindi in a different language which they don't think in. So it was quite an eye-opener.
Believe it or not, I've read Cracking the Code.
Oh.
Yeah. So did you identify when you met these people, you know, as you said, NSD किया हुआ है पर chance नहीं मिला.
Yeah.
Were you able to empathize with those characters, with those people, and how did you sort of react? How did it make you feel?
I think empathy मेरे लिए तो चलो देखो, I belong to the mainland, so that kind of empathy wasn't there, but let's think about from their perspective, because still if a good actor from a place like Delhi, Chandigarh, Bombay, Gujarat, anywhere, Maharashtra or South, they still see the prospect of earning good money or a livelihood, but somebody from Northeast where the representation is not there and they're still following their passion. It's just food for soul, not for the stomach, because they know that probably there will not be enough opportunities for them in the mainstream Hindi cinema or Indian cinema, anywhere, and down south also. So they're truly following the craft and the passion. So that way I just can't empathize, because I have come from a position of privilege where I belong to the mainland. मैंने theatre किया, मेहनत की, मैं पहुंच गया जिस मुकाम पे मैं पहुंचना चाहता था, because I could see myself and probably I could also aspire. Only aspiration be is not practical, So it's a very difficult, relatable factor there.
True. I mean, you guys come from totally different geographies and cultures.
Yeah.
Right. In the recent past, you've also said that following diversity in your own career, you would love to do an action film.
Yeah.
You are doing an action hero with Anand Rai.
Yeah.
Anek में भी है थोड़ा बहुत action, जैसे ट्रेलर में दिख रहा है, you're firing guns, etc. Is this a case of you sort of manifesting it, कि these action films are almost happening together, कि just by chance?
Absolutely. But in Anek, I think just
थोड़ा
है, क्योंकि I will not call it an action film. It is a political drama or political thriller, mostly a political drama. Action never overpowers the core issue of the film. But action hero is all about action. So there's a difference for sure. So I'll call this one as just an induction of mine with action.
Into the action genre.
Action genre, but real action is an action hero, but this is something different, which cannot be gauged by the lens of like commercial Hindi cinema. So it is an important film.
Right, but यहाँ पे भी you are firing guns.
Yeah.
There is a bit of action choreography. So I mean, how was that experience? Did you sort of enjoy it, holding these complex machines?
We had an amazing stunt director called Stefan, and I mostly got gun training, and that was a lot of fun. I got this Glock gun, which was very, very handy and hits the target, and it's a lot of fun. So it was the first time for me, but it was very exciting.
The only reason I'm asking is I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan as well. और जब जॉन विक की ट्रेनिंग वीडियोस मैंने देखे थे तो it looked like wow, this is something else. So did you experience something like that, or it wasn't that thorough?
I did it for like a couple of weeks, but it was good fun. I normally go to that location like where we shoot for
the shooting range.
They had created a shooting range.
Okay.
In Assam, where we were shooting close to Kaziranga National Park, inside the forests. So it was a lot of fun without disturbing anyone. So it was just so novel for me. I think it was just like a kid with a toy. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Coming to your career again, when an actor is at their peak, and you've certainly seen a mercurial rise in your career. You've had Article 15, Dream Girl, back-to-back hits. When you're in that phase of your career, it becomes a challenge to experiment.
Yeah.
The difference with you is, Ayushmann, your films are so different. They're not conventional, and yet they are hits. So does that allow you the creative freedom to continue experimenting, because even your experiments are paying off?
Definitely. But at the same time, I think the commercial success is important, because so that the reach of the films like Article 15 and Anek is wider, gets wider. So credit goes to the successes of Dream Girl or Bala or Badhai Ho, so that I get courage to do films like these. So they are important, of course, but I built my entire career on risk taking, so I just can't go the other way. I can't go generic.
Right.
Because this is what excites me. This is like food for soul. It just satiates me as an artist, and I would love to just tread that middle path of like commerce and critical acclaim. I hope that works out, and with this particular film as well, because as I said, this can't be gauged with a commercial lens. It's an Anubhav Sinha film. Article 15 made 60 plus crores, which is great for that film. So we are out there to get credibility and also the footfalls at the same time. So hope we achieve that.
Okay. Personally, how do you define a creative risk?
Creative risk.
Or do you even dabble in that thought? Is there a creative risk?
There is, always. Because I think simplistic films, simple narratives work better.
Okay.
In a way that even like a layman's language or a layman's humor, it works better because it's so relatable. Like I try to go in the opposite direction of the popular belief.
Okay.
You know, it'll always be a risk, be it the films of LGBT community, because they, as a norm, they don't work. Like Shubmangal Zara Savdhan was an anomaly where it got like an opening of a 10 crore, but it never achieved like 100 crore success. Because when I went for the promotions for SMZS or Trended Kare Aashki, so there were a lot of naysayers कि यार तुमने दो लौंडों को किस करते हो दिखा दिया, हम तो फैमिली को लेके ही नहीं गए. So it was such a deterrent that it was like, okay, you don't even want to see the film because two guys are kissing, or maybe I'm falling in love with a trans girl. So it'll always be a deterrent in the eyes of conventional conservative Indian audience. So it's very difficult to tread that path.
Okay.
So it's very difficult to tread that middle path of relatability and still being away from the popular belief.
What you're talking about is a very personal reaction.
Yeah.
So when this happens, do you try to correct it on the spot, or do you
There is no point. I can only correct it through the cinema, through the work that we have created. There is no point correcting them. I don't even talk much on Twitter, or I'm very non-confrontational as a person, but as an artist, I'm very confrontational.
Wow.
So there are two different lives that I live. Probably that's an alter ego that I'm living on screen.
Right. Ayushmann, you seem to have a great tuning with Anubhav Sinha.
Yeah.
What is it about his craft, his being as an artist, that you respect the most, and what have you learned from him?
His childlike quality, his energy as a creator. Like, he will work on 3 projects at a time and come up with brilliant ideas and subjects and make it very grounded, and at the same time he'll have great amount of research on each one of the subjects. I almost know every subject he's working on. So I think it's his new version, post Mulk, is very exciting.
Okay. And shall we expect more films between the two of you?
Definitely. I would love to collaborate with him every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. On that note, thank you so much, Ayushmann.
Thank you, Rachit. Thank you.
And best of luck for Anek.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.